So guys, according to this headline, it says Boko Haram bomb Nigerian air base with drones in Borno on Christmas Eve, injure many soldiers. And like you can see, this date is on the 25th of December 2024, meaning it's a new headline. So guys, you can imagine what is happening in the north. We were told that they've defeated Boko Haram, but from this headline you can see that Boko Haram has even become more sophisticated for them to use drone and targeted Nigerian base, you know, to the point that many soldiers, many soldiers were injured. Thank God, like this report is saying, that nobody lost his or her life. Let's believe that no soldier lost his or her life, but this report is saying many soldiers were injured. So guys, a lot of distraction in this country when you look at the way the military is fighting insecurity. When you go to the southeast, a lot of roadblocks. The military is everywhere. And recently, the chief of army staff was on an interview session on Arise Television. He was asked this question as to why are there many military checkpoints in the southeast, and he said the southeast has more tendency of, you know, a kind of insecurity. It's more prone to more insecurity related cases, and that is why the amount, in short, I'm just going to let it not be that I'm making up. Let me allow you take a look at that interview.
The question a lot of people from the southeast of Nigeria will ask you is, why are there so many roadblocks in the southeast?
You know, the terrain. We operate based on the terrain. If the terrain is open, it's less. If the terrain is closed, it's more. Because if you don't do that, you give the ability of the enemy to move around freely.
But there is the same kind of terrain in the southwest. There is the same kind of terrain in the Midwest.
Southwest, what is the threat level? The threat level isn't that much. So that's the issue. You see, the thing is that if we make mistakes, people get killed. And people feel we're not doing our job. So we have to take whatever it is that we need to do to ensure that we secure the individual. Sometimes it could be difficult. Sometimes it could be painful. And it seems as if we're being very hard. But it just depends. You can see that even at that, we're now beginning to reduce, seeing that, look, things are getting better. We don't want to just like that come and impede on people. No. For us, we don't like it. But sometimes we're forced to do it because that's the only measure we need to do at that time. And once it gets better, we pull out.
Don't forget that recently the DSS interrogated the statistician who came up with a report that Nigeria has paid so much in ransom. You know, they now had to start querying this man. Instead of the DSS to be providing Nigerians with intelligence, they are busy, you know, interrogating those that they feel that the figures that they gave were much. You know, that is what we are seeing. And for me, I'm just saying that this is misplaced priority. So I'm going to allow you to take a look at that interview where the chief of army staff stated why they are mounting more roadblocks in the southeast. And also, there was this debate as to how insecurity has worsened, if it has gotten better or it has gotten worse in Nigeria. You are equally going to see and listen to what the chief of army staff said in that video, just for you to know that honestly we are in a big trouble. For the Boko Haram group to be this sophisticated, then Nigeria is a joke. Don't forget that recently we talked about the new terror group that has come up in Nigeria. That one, we don't even know how they are doing their underground work, and then we are seeing this kind of headline. Just take a look for yourself.
Yes. NGOs, there are so many things. If we want to go into NGO issues, there are so many things I had. Initially, when the NGOs came in, when we started, they didn't want any oversight function. They didn't want us to know where they were going to. We had issues with that because now they will go into the enclave of the terrorists and go and treat them. You are treating the same people that is attacking the communities. You tell them, no, that you are neutral. How neutral can you be? We've had situations where allegations of arms, them conveying arms just to make sure that the war continues. We've had situations where they will tell you they are taking food to communities. Halfway, they tell you the trailer has broken down. By next morning, the trailer is empty. And that vehicle that is broken down, the driver will just go and drive it and take it back. So what had happened? You have funded those guys. You are taking care of them equally. We've had several situations like that. So we said, no, it can't continue like that. And that's why we insisted with the state government that, look, the state government must know what's going on. So if any NGO comes, it must be registered. We must monitor what's going on. We've had situations where NGOs will come in with unidentified individuals entering communities. You don't even know what they're doing. They don't have NGO ID cards. They are not part of the government. Who is taking them to know? What are they going there for? And so by the time we start monitoring what they were doing, we noticed things started getting better. So which means something is going on somewhere. Because they come from all over the world and you don't know who is who. So that's why for every country, please regulate what the NGOs are doing, monitor what they're doing. Most times you hear them telling you that they spent $10 million and then you wonder where. Most times the money is spent on themselves, on their luxuries. The hotels they stay, the vehicles they are using and all those things. The locals don't benefit much from them. And yet this thing keeps on. I told you, somebody will come and pay for a house for 10 years ahead. So what is he trying to tell you? This thing will never end until after 10 years, or maybe he will renew it. And again, I always remember that if there is peace and the threat level is low, one, they are going to retrench them. Two, their hazard allowance will reduce. How many of them will want that? Some are extremely doing very well. But again, please don't just assume that, just monitor what's going on, monitor what's being spent. I think it's important. I think we've dealt with the issue.
There's the last one of extermination of the...
when is it going to end? Maybe I should ask you, when is criminality going to end? It's something that we have to live. No, the truth about it is just something that's the new world order. And it's everywhere. In America, how many killings are going on? It's all acts of terrorism. It's going to be in every country. It is your ability to mitigate, to deal with it in such a way that it does not affect the normal lives of the people. But acts of criminality will continue. That is for sure. Countries that have not had this, please don't allow it to start. Whatever it takes, once they start, please nip it immediately in the bud. It's very important. And what does it take? Monitoring. Monitoring is good. Law enforcement, legal system. These are areas that we're having a lot of challenges.
There is one serious factor which I want as Chief of Defense Staff to answer. You see, since they have the idea of this firepower, bandits use AK-47. Well, the law of the land did not allow somebody that is not trained as a military or as a police officer to hold AK-47. And this is a community-driven crisis that can be addressed substantially by the members of the communities. In as much as the communities are trained and they know the enclaves of the bandit, and they don't have the power because they can only use pump action that ranges only 100 meters. While bandits are having AK-47 that has a range of about 400 meters. They will continue to deal with people even if people want to fight and protect their communities. What government is doing to address that problem, considering the fact that in the Boko Haram, hunters were given AK-47, and that what honestly helped in addressing the problem of Boko Haram. So what is government doing now to make people to have access to that more advanced and more sophisticated weaponry so that we will come to we will completely dislodge this bandit? Because in as much as we leave them, they will continue to expand, and that is a serious issue.
If we tell ourselves the truth, what is going on in the Northwest is the Hausa Fulani fight. You know, we don't mention it. That is the bottom line. The Fulani man feels anytime he comes to town, he's molested, he's killed. The Hausa man believes that the Fulani man, using his headsmen, enters his farm and destroys his crops. So it's been a long time, I'm sure you're aware, it's been a long time issue that had not been addressed. So it's a political issue that should have been settled before. It had been allowed until it evolved to what it is today. Now, acts of criminality now came in. When acts of criminality came in, they felt that now, because the borders, you know, I mentioned the issue of porous borders where weapons are moving in and out, and that's why they felt that, yes, since their cows are being attacked, they too should be protected. And that's why you see major of them carrying arms. And before you know it, those that didn't have cows started into acts of armed robbery, small stealing, until it graduated to what it is now. Then the Boko Haram, with the hit they got in the Northeast, a lot of them moved. So it's a convergence of criminality that has come together to build up to what the acts of banditry. And the only way they make money is what? Kidnapping. When they kidnap, they make money. Now, the state governments, yes, in order to address that, I personally support civilian JTF. We use them effectively in the Northeast. But how did we apply them in the Northwest? What we did, the communities were the ones that identified youths that had character, that were reliable, that were honest. They brought out those names, gave the state government brought them in, profiled them with the police and the DSS, the State Security Service, and then they were now handed over to the military. They were trained with the mandate to protect their communities, not to go and attack any other person. Because one, the military, the armed forces, we are not many, we can't be everywhere. There is no country that have security forces everywhere. So their own intent is, the mandate for them is protect your community while the main forces are coming. So you delay them until that. And that's how we have used them. And frankly speaking, they've given us a lot of, because one, they know the areas very well. They know the area, they can tell you where IEDs are, which roads are clear and all this. And so we use that correct. But what we found out in the Northwest is a lot of this were not done. And the danger is, don't ever allow a training to be viewed, the perception of that using one ethnic group. Like I told you from beginning, the issues were Hausa, Fulani. Now, if you have civilian JTF that is only Hausa, what would the Fulani feel? He will feel threatened. And that is what is causing the problem. If you sit down now to look at in Katsina State, how many have been killed so far? Because one, they operate in Northeast, they operate with the security forces. There is no operation they don't go together. So the security forces will give them that experience and the tactics to use. In this other area, they want to go alone. And you know that they've started also sell vendetta.
So guys, you have seen it. These are the things we are saying about Nigeria. Let's just be patriotic. Let's just be patriotic. So when you come to this country, you find out that the Southeast is like always a target. Always a target. Report recently said that the Southeast has lost more than 32,000 persons recently. And, the military has moved its focus more on the Southeast and leaving these Boko Haram people to keep breeding and getting more sophisticated. So guys, you can see that all these headlines are true. They are not being make up. I mean, these are facts. These are things that are relatable in today's Nigeria. So you can imagine in Borno State, people having their night vigil, the Christmas vigil. At the end of the day, they heard this sound of Boko Haram attack using drones for Boko Haram to, easily come up with this kind of idea, and they were able to execute it to the end. That tells you that we have so much lapses, in our management of security in this country, in the way this country is being run. I mean, how come in this world you go to the Southeast, checkpoints everywhere? I mean, everywhere. Nigerians cannot move from one point to the other. If you are in the Southeast, you know what this is, and you know how it affects businesses, because at every checkpoint, if you're a businessman and you have to move your goods from one point to the other, this is how you keep settling all these checkpoints. At the end of the day, it's either your gain is being reduced, and then when you go to the north, where we have even the real insecurity, they will tell us that the Southeast is more prone to all these attacks than the north. And one keeps wondering, where is the balance, Nigerians? Where is the balance? Where do we have the balance? So guys, these are the things we are saying that this country can do better. Let's carry everybody along. Let's not make people feel marginalized, and when they begin to agitate, you now begin to clamp down on them and begin to arrest and begin to buy them. Look at the report saying that more than 32,000 civilians in the Southeast have been buyed. This is just the figure of the one that were reported. What about the people that their lives were ended and no media house saw it, nobody reported it? And I tell you, a lot has gone on in the Southeast. Even though during the Biafran war, the Southeast lost so many people, now the Southeast is still losing so many people because of insecurity. We have always said that the easiest way for Tinubu to address the insecurity challenges insecurities in the southeast. Release Nnamdi Kanu, no matter the condition you are going to give him. Release him and let's know who is using his name in a wrong way to cause all this mayhem in the southeast. Once you release Nnamdi Kanu, then the southeast will be a bit calmer, and then this waste of lives will reduce. But nobody is listening. They want to use, are they using it for politics? It's up to them. And now the security agents are using it as an excuse that the southeast is prone to attack. Don't you know why the southeast is prone to attack? Because Nnamdi Kanu is being held. Release him no matter the condition, even if it's house arrest. Just release him. Give him conditions and release him, and let's know who will come out and say, I am ESN, I am IPOB, I am this. Let's see who is going to be attacking people and causing insecurity in the southeast using Nnamdi Kanu's name. But they will not want to release him. And then when there are troubles in the southeast, they use that opportunity and clamp down on even innocent people. Don't forget that at the time in Imo State, they were saying that the hospital in Imo State has so many unidentified corpses. I mean, these were people's children. Who knows what they ended up doing with those corpses? Until today, we are still having this problem. So guys, I don't know what you make of this attack coming from Boko Haram, fighters against the Nigerian military. A very sad day for the Nigerian military. I mean, a very sad day at a time when other people are, celebrating this. The Nigerian military is having this biggest setback. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell. Please give this video a like so that YouTube can recommend it to others. And drop your thoughts in the comment section below.